So, like I always say, the following is going to be just my interpretation, my breakdown of the word natural. And boy, am I excited and wowed by what I have found. And it's led me into so much. And, well, here goes, guys. So, as you can see, why has it got that on the screen? So, the word natural, I broke it down into three. Nat, your, U-R, and A-L can become E-L. L, obviously, divine, divinity. Some call them the gods. So, the last few videos, I actually did one on Nat, and in the video, and Nat means birth or to be born, but also in some cultures means spirit. So that was intriguing. So you got that so far. So you are, or your, is a German prefix meaning original, earliest, primitive, from German year, basically out of or original. So that's intriguing. Some maintain that it is the Sumerian word uru, meaning town. Some translate the name as the place of the dwelling of light, and that's what started me off. I'm like, wow. So let's carry on. So anyway, in today's Hebrew, the word you are, according to the internet, means to stir or stirred or awakened. So some powerful words. So also some people think it's the origin is to the Hittite word warp, meaning enclosure, bit like town. But that's not like a wow, is it? So that got me thinking. So what I found so far on Nat overall. So my understanding, guys, of what I found in natural so far is the following. Again, just my interpretation. Born spirit that comes or stems from the original light of the divine. Tell me that ain't wow. So natural, in my interpretation, means born or spirit that comes or stems from the original light of the divine. Wow, that got me excited. So what have you got following now is something that I preempted. So here goes.
Bonus stage.
So all you old gamers out there, when you heard bonus stage, I had to preempt everyone who was watching the video, because like me, when I was talking about natural, you would have automatically thought, hey, what then is supernatural? Am I right, guys? Come on, am I right? You just like me, you would have automatically thought, hey, well, what about supernatural? So as you can see on the screen, the term is derived from the medieval Latin supernaturalis, from Latin super, above, beyond, or outside of, and nature. Although the corollary term nature has multiple meanings since the ancient world, the term supernatural emerged in the Middle Ages and did not exist in the ancient world. This got me excited to be intrigued when obviously supernatural means above, beyond, or outside of. I started to think of the human body, the vessel, the ship, the reality around us. Are we living in a supernatural world because it's anything that's out of this body, this light, this divine light, the human body? So I just quickly had a quick look at supernatural on the webs, and here's a little bit. Now tell me which bit screams out to you, and you guys know me very well. So the ancient world had no word that resembled supernatural. Dialogues from Neoplatonic philosophy in the 3rd century AD influenced the development of the concept of the supernatural, which later evolved through Christian theology. The term nature had existed since antiquity, with Latin authors like Augustine using the word and its cognates at least 600 times in the City of God. In the medieval period, nature had 10 different meanings. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about natural. This just blew me away. Natural had 11 different meanings. Come on, guys. When I start talking about 11, and I'm talking about the word natural, and according to this, there is 11 different meanings of the word natural. It just blew me away. Peter Lombard, a medieval scholastic of the 12th century explored causes beyond nature, questioning how certain phenomena could be attributed solely to God. How intriguing is this? The bonus stage, looking at the word supernatural, above or beyond or outside of, and we the vessels are containing the divine light. And many of you would be aware, and I've talked about it briefly in all videos, about how humans actually glow in the dark. Humans have the power to glow in the dark, but the light is so faint the naked human eye is unable to perceive it. In 2009, I'm not saying 11, Japanese scientists captured bioluminescence in humans for the first time using a camera. So we've all seen the meme, and I've just used this because I couldn't get a meme that was clear enough talking about how humans glow in the dark. And our eyes, remember from that old video how the eye socket, the eye volume, everything adds to, you got it, 11 from that old video. Crazy, huh? So that got me thinking of one of the first things in the Bible, and that's Genesis. Now, this is just my opinion. I'm just basically talking around a campfire, spitting the fat, chewing the fat, whatever you want to call it. I'm thinking out loud with you guys, and I was just thinking, what if? So let's read it, the chapter again. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void. So I've always talked about how we're living in a cave, a chamber, and you've all saw the videos. So anyway, without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. So there's the deep, the cave, and the spirit. Remember the verse, the etymology that I did, born from or come from, or the spirit stems from the light of the divine. So beyond the face of the deep, and the spirit of God moved over the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. Is it talking about the creation of the light, the spirit within each of us? That is what I see. Now, it doesn't mean it's right, but I've just always thought, So remember in Genesis, it talks about later in the week, God then created the sun and the moon. But he talks about the light now. Let there be light. Are we the light? And I know it talks about how humans were created on the sixth day or something like that. Well, maybe that's the vessels, the ship, the skeleton that contains the soul, the light, to keep it in this reality. That's just a thought. What say you guys after seeing that? I'm not normally I do a thoughts, but it got me intriguing, so I want to talk about this a little bit more. So here it goes. Right guys, so what's coming up is just from my crazy head. So the day after making my last video, so you've got to have watched that, call it fate or a coincidence, I watched a program about the Dead Sea Scrolls. So it intrigues me that, and as you know, the Dead Sea Scrolls I think were found in 11 caves, the 11. And the episode basically focused on the War Scrolls. I've never heard of the War Scrolls before, or War Scroll. And when they were talking about a war between the sons of light and the sons of darkness, I was stunned. I mean, none of us believe in coincidences. See, the coin is so intriguing that. So how could this be? That after breaking down natural and finding it meant anything classed as natural stemmed from the light of the divine El. It just blew me away. Could the War Scrolls be talking about this battle between light and dark? That's what a lot of people believe. Between what is natural and born from the El, and what is supernatural and born from the opposite side of the coin.
Good hits, we leave 'em alone. Bad hits, we hit 'em hard.
So let's go a little bit deeper. Do those opposing sides of the same coin represent the duality of life, the conflict between two L's, the light and the dark? That always intrigued me, that. Remember Lucifer, Satan, the adversary, the devil has stemmed from the angel that was cast down. Two L's, the two divines, the light and the dark. So I wanted to look at the spell etymology of duality. Take the ITY off. Basically, ITY etymology of that is quality. Remember that. So it becomes dual, which means having a double character of nature. Interesting. Or you can split dual or dual down into two. Du means two in Latin, and AL becomes EL. So dual becomes two L's. Oh, it's not like dual or dual. Here's the 11 in gematria. That's just a pure coincidence. But wait, so is duality. Both are two L11. And when we think of light and dark, don't we think of white and black? We've been programmed to. Now, where do we see this? But in Freemasonry temples. And here's an example now. But what's intriguing is, and I included this in an old video, so I want to show you a quick clip, something about the set and compass that we've already talked about before. You're going to love it. And as you look at this compass and set with the G inside, if you've all seen memes and people talking about it, I've mentioned it many times in old videos. The top half adds to, the degree of it is 47 of the compass. 4 add 7 equals, yes, you got it, 11. And obviously at the bottom, the set, the ruler is 90 degrees. Now, a few smart people out there, I don't want to include myself on this. 90 add 47, so adding them both together, those angles, gives you 137. Few smart people out there. 1 add 3 add 7 equals, you got it, 11. This 11 that I've been keep showing you through the video, and I've researched quite a lot. I mean, that's just another 11. A coincidence. Something that I coined and made up for this video that Doctor Who from the chat was talking about also. So let's carry on. So as you can see above or on the screen, whatever you're looking at, you can see the Masonic floor that I showed you, a few seconds ago. Now, as you know, the four corners, the four directions, the cardinal directions, they're basically associated with Janus. When he had 4 heads, he was in charge of the 4 winds, the 4 directions of this realm. Also, Cardia, who is the hinge, is a part of it too. Cardia, cardiac, cardinal directions. So it's all associated with Janus. So I want to read out a little bit on this just to show you about duality. The mosaic pavement. The black and white checkered floor has existed in temples since the times of ancient Egypt. More than simply decorative, the mosaic pavement bears a profound, esoteric, but basically special meaning. Today it is one of the Freemasonry's most recognizable symbols and is the ritualistic floor of all Masonic lodges. The pavement is the area of which initiations, and obviously Janus is a god of initiations, something I've showed you previously. Basically initiations occur and is an emblematic of human life, checkered with good and evil. So they're saying the light and the dark, the white and the black is an emblematic of human life, the good and evil. The mosaic pavement in an old symbol of the order. It is met with the earliest rituals of the last century. It is classed among the ornaments of the lodge, along with the indented tassel and the blazing star. Its partly coloured stones of black and white have been readily and appropriately interpreted. Remember, the Peters is interpreted, the Peters in Peter, as the symbols of evil and of good of human life. In the entered apprentice degree, the mosaic pavement represents the ground floor of King Solomon's temple. In the account of King Solomon's temple in the Bible, the ground floor is said to be made of pine or fir, depending on the Bible translation. So let's carry on. The checkered board floor upon which the modern free Masonic lodge stands is the old tracing board of the Dionysiac Greek architects, and while the modern organisation is no longer limited to workmen's guilds, it still preserves its symbols. When thinking of the idea of duality and the concept of good and evil, black and white, sacred and profane, an image that immediately enters the mind is that of the yin yang. That's why I've told you about duality and yin yang being Janus, the faces of the coin. The floor or groundwork of the lodge, a checkered work of black and white squares, denotes the dual quality. Remember when I said remember? Duality, I-T-Y. Basically, the etymology of I-T-Y is quality. So when you see duality, it's basically the quality of the two L's. The L's to the quality. So dual, two L's, and the quality. Duality. So denotes the dual quality of everything connected with terrestrial life and the physical groundwork of human nature, natural. The mortal body, remember, mort, al, mortal, mort is death, the death of the L's. So these vessels are like the death of the L's. Are they holding something inside us? Is this where they come to die in this form? The mortal body and its appetites and affections, the web of life is a mingled yarn, good and ill together, wrote Shakespeare. Everything material is characterized by inextricably interblended good and evil, light and shade, joy and sorrow, positive and negative. What is good for me may be evil for you. And that goes with everything. And again, as I just showed you on that image, this is the image you was talking about. Now this is something that's intrigued me when I looked at it, and again, this is just my interpretation, so don't take this as far, guys, far from it. It's just me what ifing. So as you can see on the screen, you can see the checkerboard, the white and the black. You can see a coin, the circle, the circ L, and I want to include something on that circle because this is the shape of this realm, in my opinion, inside the cave. So what you are seeing, for my interpretation, two stars on the blue. Now the blue for me represents something, and I'm going to show you now. Two L's trapped within the waters, the Holy Spirit. Intriguing that, isn't it, when we start talking like this? So are they talking about being trapped in the vessels, the duality? Are they trapped in this realm? That's what blew my mind. So let's have a look a bit deeper on this. Why am I thinking like this? So obviously two L's. Remember, Satan is also associated with Venus and the morning star. There's a star. The divine, the celestial. Remember the celestial? The video when I talked about how the celestial means we're in a chamber, a room. So as you can see, there's two stars, the two L's of the coin. Now obviously in Hebrew the spirit is known as ruach, or ruach is the Hebrew word used in scripture for the breath of God. It is wind, it is spirit, it's life. It's not so much a physical force but an essence. God's essence that sustains life is sometimes also translated as Spirit of God, such as Genesis. Now other things, you see there's many versions of this. Like we all have a different opinion, even what's classed as academic. So the word ruach, when applied to God, can often indicate creative divine activity. God creates, empowers, emboldens and sustains all things, and the name Ruach Elohim reminds us of the power and the facets of God's character. We've talked about the character of nature. There's always two sides, the natural and the supernatural. It's what's blown me away. Right guys, as you know, I always go off on a tangent. Now we just talked about the Ruach, the spirit, but for centuries and since the beginning of time, people have talked about the soul and the spirit being divided. Now, if you remember way back, Anne and Zeus, according to Greek mythology, humans were originally created with 4 arms, 4 legs and a head with 2 faces. Where have you seen that before? Zeus split them into 2 separate parts, condemning them to spend their lives in search of each other's halves. Now, people talk of this about soulmates. We were split into 2 and that's what we're looking for. But what if, and this is a what if, it's not right, I'm just talking about what if this was good and evil being split, because they're supposed to go together, the balance, the flips of the coin. Together we are whole, divided we just get influence. What if this was just good and evil? I mean, as I've always showed you, Zeus is basically Janus. Janus, remember, has, yes, you got it, in his Bifron formed 2 heads. Funny that. Another coincidence. So, the Romans regarded Jupiter as the equivalent to the Greek Zeus. So they say Jupiter, Peter, the rock, the father, another Peter, was equivalent to Zeus. And in Latin literature and Roman art, the myths and iconography of Zeus are adapted under the name Jupiter. In the Greek influenced tradition, Jupiter was the brother of Neptune and Pluto, the Roman equivalents of Poseidon and Hades respectively. Well, someone needs to tell the Romans and other academics, because look underneath. The Roman god Janus, also known as Janus Bifrons, was in the archaic period regarded extremely highly, perhaps the highest out of the list of Roman gods, and possibly initially considered as one and the same with Jupiter. Remember, Jupiter, Ionon Peter, Ionis Pater, Ionos Pater is another name for Janus. He was the god of doors, gates, premises, borders, beginning and ends. So they want to make their mind up. So you can just say Janus. Why I research Janus? Because Janus is regarded as Jupiter. Jupiter is regarded as Zeus. So the one and the same. Zeus. Oh, I'll split humans into 2. So when we come across images of Jupiter basically, I know Peter, Ammon, Jupiter with horns. Oh, if there was only a picture of Janus with horns. Oh wait, there is. So you can just see how intriguing it is. So let's get back to this about basically the soul and the spirit divided. The word of God divides asunder or separates the soul and the spirit of man, because they are 2 separate and distinct entities. There would be no need to divide. So basically, was our soul and spirit divided? Instead of just making a soulmate. Is the soulmate your soul, your spirit to you? Good and evil, yin and yang, the opposite and negative. You know, it's crazy. The word of God divides between soul and spirit. The division of soul and spirit will reveal whether we are dependent on our soul, our mind and emotions to get God's word across to people, or upon the Holy Spirit. People under the old covenant could not distinguish between soul and spirit. So we're talking, remember from the image, 2 L's trapped in the Holy Spirit, the water, the blue. And then you see a verse like this. One is Isaiah 44:3. Wait, 4 and 4 is 8 and 3 is 11. Oh, that's just a a coincidence, which uses a poetic parallelism to equate to 2 terms by making water a symbol of the Holy Spirit. I will pour out water on the thirsty land and streams on the dry ground. I will pour out my spirit on your offspring. The Holy Spirit is frequently depicted in the Old Testament as being poured. So when I'm showing you that image of the checkered floor, life and death, the duality, two L's trapped in the holy water, the Holy Spirit, I may have something. Well, according to this, I have. So all this talk of water and the Holy Spirit obviously being the blue, holding and dividing the two L's, it got me to think of Aquarius. And as you can see, Aquarius is known as, yes, the water bearer. And on the left you have an image of Aquarius, the constellation, and on the right you have basically his symbol, you know, the two wavy lines representing water, similar to memory. But what's funny is, and another coincidence, is this. January, man feasting Janus. Janus, two-faced Roman god, keeper of the gate of heaven in roundel on centre left, astrological sign for Aquarius, the water carrier. So Janus is also associated with Aquarius, the water bearer, the spirit bearer, the soul bearer. Tell me, how many coincidences are we allowed to have? I'm just showing you this. It's a crazy world. It's a crazy world that we live in, and I get blown away constantly, guys. And for you people out there just wondering, you already know, but some of us just don't, so I'm just gonna lay out there. Janus is 11. He is. I mean, what number is Aquarius? Oh, wait, it's the 11th. Aquarius, Latin for water bearer, is the 11th astrological sign in the zodiac. Originated from the constellation Aquarius under the tropical zodiac, the sun is in the Aquarius sign between January 20th and February 18th. Which, if you look at the date, 20 add 18 is what? 38 days. What's 3 add 8? Oh yes, 11. So I'm just showing you the connections all the time. So Aquarius is the 11th. Now look at the symbol for Aquarius again. Turn it on its side. Does it not now resemble the number 11? Just another one of those coincidences. So before I finish off this little section, I wanted to, as my mind works, it goes off into, like I said before, into tangents and other things, and we are always taught, and people talk about that this world is dog eat dog. This world is a doggy dog world. Every man for himself type of thing, isn't it? And when you look at the word dog eat dog, what do they always say? We always do it from kids, don't we? Oh, look at how God is spelled. It's dog backwards. We all do it. We've all done it. So look at it again. They say it's a dog eat dog world. Turn around the dog, you get God. So they say it's a God eat God world. So let's carry on. Let's reverse eat to tear. So eat reversed is tear, T-A-E, which means, and this is just another coincidence, it means a place, a state, or a goal. I mean, in life we're always set goals. I mean, another name for a goal in life is a target, like a bullseye. I mean, just look at a goal. It's like a net, isn't it? Like a spider's web. I mean, what mail do we use, or to message each other, or to search the internet? You know, like Neith, the Egyptian god, the spider god. So it's just intriguing, isn't it, when you look at the word tear? It means a place, a state, a goal. But, and here's the kicker, if you carry on reversing, carry on researching, te also means two. Two L's again. That just must be a coincidence that this dog-eat-dog world is two gods going at it for power, the struggle, the battle between the vessels. And I'm going to etymology of vessels and different things, I think, after my next little segment on this. By faith, we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what was visible.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good.
Right guys, so I'm leading up to something. I have to show you all this, you know how my mind works. So Janus obviously is heavily involved with being two faces of the coin. He oversees seasonal events such as planting, harvest, seasonal changes and the new year. According to Roman mythology, Janus was present at the beginning of the world, Genesis. As the god of gates, Janus guarded the gates of heaven and held access to heaven and other gods. So that's why he's so important. He's a janitor. God of beginnings and passages. As a god of motion, remember creation, the world created the void, hence Genesis. You know, the waters above, the waters below, and we're in the void. More on that in a sec. Janus looks after passages, causes actions to start, and presides over all beginnings. Since movement and change are interconnected, he has a double nature, symbolizing in his two-headed image. And I found all this many years ago because I was looking into the city Genoa, and Genoa gets its name from the following, and it's Janus. The city's modern name may derive, so it's may, from the Latin word meaning knee, genu, plural genua, Janus, Genoa. But there are other theories. It could derive from the god Janus because Genoa, like him, has two faces, a face that looks at the sea and another turned into the mountains, and Janus is all over Genoa. Here's an image of him on a lamppost. So you can see why I'm talking like this and why it's intriguing, because we're talking about Genesis, the beginning, and it's connected to a two-faced God. And remember this, what I've been talking about, though, the spirit, the holy water, the waters above, and the two stars could mean two L's trapped. Remember, well, the waters above, the waters below, and we're in the void. And the reason I talk about this is because in my old book on ancient symbolism, look what I found for the symbol that you use for water. Look at it. It's a door, it's a window, but it's also a net, it's a goal. And if this is like a cell, like a cell door, cells, and I've talked about cells many times. So you think about the waters above, waters below, the Holy Spirit, and we have a net all around them, hence all the sea terminology used, fishers of men. Well, fishers of men, well, you would need a net, and there's a net all around us. And the reason I want to talk about this a little bit is because, as you can see, the symbol for water looks like a door, a net, etc. Then you add this to the old symbol for day and night. It's the black and the white. It's just like a square, a clear square, but together it forms a net. Even looks like a shreddy, doesn't it? And as you can see, day and night, light and darkness, openness and concealment. Come on guys, so what I've been leading up to show you this, it's simply blown my mind. We talk about the waters, the Holy Spirit being the net, fishers of men, and you see the old symbology for water. Again, it's not the only one, but it was just from my book that I've gone through a little bit, and you can see why I had to show you this, because it talks about day and night, light and darkness, and it's the same as basically the water, the cells, the prison cells, the cells of our body. We're water, aren't we? Amongst crystal and many other things. But you can see my point here, that when we talk about in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earths, and again, remember, heaven and hell, the etymology H looks like a door from way back in period, then that leaves 11, heaven, heaven and hell. So you can see all points this 11, this realm being the jurisdiction of hell, which will then show you the old etymology for that and where that comes from. It comes from electric, and I'm mind blown. You can see I'm getting carried away, but I just have to show you. I mean, just look. Water, and the day and night is like the checkerboard, like the floor is this word they get it from, and what I'm talking about today. Two L's trapped in between the two waters. The waters above, the waters below. Is there two different waters? Is there a good water and a bad water? But together it makes us whole. It's crazy, but you can just see where I'm coming from and why I'm getting excited. Our bodies are vessels that were created. Guess you're thinking. Then the Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being. So we've all seen that verse in the Bible, but I want to look at the vessels. So here's another verse. But we have the treasure in jars of clay to show that the surpassing power belongs to God and not to us. Corinthians 4:7. Again, another 11, showing you that the treasure in the jars declared the vessels, us. Therefore, if anyone cleanses himself from what is dishonourable, he will be a vessel for honourable use. So that to me sounds like possession. Now there's both sides of the coin, isn't there? So I'll break down the spell vessel, and I did this by splitting it into two like I always do. El obviously is divine divinity, the Elohim, so that left ves, two V-E-S-S, but if you just take away one S, so it's still the same really. Ves, it means to speak. Cognate to Latin vox, the voice. So that got me thinking, the voice, the mouth, how prevalent is the mouth? Now, didn't we just read out the verse saying God breathed into the nostrils to create man? What a coincidence. So again, I want to look at the mouth. So these vessels are remnants of the voice of God. Now that's intriguing me because I've done a little bit of research on that. So now you see why good and evil are in a battle. It's for these vessels. Because in a realm where magic is key, we cast spells to communicate. Now here's another old clip showing this and showing you how prevalent and special the vocal cords are. Now we all know this quote, and a lot of people are starting to think Nikola Tesla wasn't even a person, it was a fictional character, it was Mark Twain, etc, etc. It doesn't matter. The point is what the message they were trying to get out in this statement. They're telling you, if you only knew the magnificence of 369, then you would have the key, the frequency key to the universe. Now in this video I'm going to be showing you how the 3, the 6 and the 9 is actual in regard to the voice box, the vocal cords, the voice of God. That is the secret they want to keep hidden. That is why they're going shh. They're showing you, don't open your mouth, because that is the voice of God, the power within to create and to destroy. And this is what I'll be talking about in this video, so hopefully you guys you'll enjoy it. So as I've just said, I believe the vocal cord, the voice box, the larynx, the package is the voice of God. And here's why I think it's this and connected to the 369, the magnificence of that. We know AL is basically God or divine or a deity, and VOC, voc, means to call or voice. So add them together, vocal means the voice of God or the call of God. Now, what's intriguing me about this is that in olden times a symbol for a deity was a triangle or a pyramid. I'm just showing you an example above. Now let me have a look at the definition. The rank of essential nature of God, divinity, God sent supreme being, a god or goddess, one exalted or revered, a supreme god or powerful. That's what deity means. Now you saw the triangle, you saw deity, I'm talking about the voice of God. So let's have a look at the vocal cord region. What do you see? You see a triangle. Didn't I just say a triangle is a symbol of a deity? Yes, I did. Put that over there, voice of God, a triangle. Our vocal area is a triangle. just like the all-seeing eye, the secret eye. Could it be, in fact, it's a vocal area? I mean, look at the 369 that we all talk about. You always see it in a triangle, in a pyramid shape. It fits that area perfectly. So this is where I show you why I think it's the voice box and all that region being the voice of God and the 369. As you can see here, the laryngeal cavity continued. It's just a picture of the found, but it's about the larynx, and it's divided into 3 parts: the vestibule, the vertical, and the infraglottic part. So to me, that sounds like a 3. So could, and it is could, because like I said, I'm just theorising it and, you know, talking between friends. Could the famous 369 be the voice box and all the secrets that's hidden within that? Could this be 3 out of the 6-9? Just a thought. Next one is the vocal cords are composed of twin infoldings of 3 distinct tissues. The outer layer is squamous, non-cauterizing epithelium. Below this is a superficial layer of the lamina propria, a gel-like layer which allows the vocal folds to vibrate to produce sound. 2 infoldings of 3, which is 6. There you have it. So we have the 3 and the 6. But look closely. The vocal cords have 3 on each side. So you know where I'm going for here. The famous Scottish Rite, level 33. Could that be why it's so significant? Just an idea that, again, I'm throwing past you. So this is the 6. But it's just funny that the 33, and I found 33 in the pyramid, fits nice in the vocal area. It wowed me when I originally found this. I believe I'm onto something, but like I said, it's just personal opinions, isn't it? The next one is the skeleton of the larynx. The skeleton, it contains 9 cartilages. Come on, so I found the 3, I found the 6, and now the skeleton, the cartilaginous skeleton, is the 9. There is your 3, 6, 9, the vocal area. But look at this, here's the larynx now, and it's just a slice off. Do you remember my old videos? Can you identify what I'm going to say now? There's a shape hidden in that is supposedly an ancient symbol that's been in the sky. Some call it a plasmeric event. It's known as the squatter man amongst many things. Can you see it? I'll put a picture at the side just to show you. It's a wow. So that is a wow mate. I didn't find that last time. I just seen, you know, the cartilage in half here, like a slice section, and you see the squatter man, an image that appeared in antiquity all across the world. Show this symbol. The hourglass video, I've done a video on it, Tempest Fugit, if you want to watch that. But wow, so in the voice of God you have the squatter man. It got me thinking. I know, don't do it, Paul. But could the vocal, the voice of God, the 369, be Pandora's box? Remember, if you open the box, you unleash evil curses amongst people. Well, think about it. If that's the case, we can curse with our mouth, the power of the voice. That is why they want everyone quiet. They want to silence us because they know the true power of the voice box, the vocal cords. We have lost the ability through indoctrination and programming and whatnot. So it just got me thinking, could the power of the voice be something in regards to Pandora's box? Opening up the box and let loose all the curses on mankind. It just got me thinking. It's something to ponder on, isn't it? Could the actual Pandora's box be the voice box? So you can definitely see the importance of the vocal cords. Now, when you start looking at it a little bit deeper, you can fit a lot of things in it. You know, obviously the eye, the yoni, but look, you can fit the compass and set in the picture. And I'll just highlight that and put it in for you now so you can see. So it does mind blow when you start thinking of it a little bit different. Now, what also that you can look at it, Well, just look at it now, what you see on the screen. The vocal cords open when you're breathing. Obviously, you need to breathe. Now, when the vocal cords are closed, that's when you speak. Now, for you sharp-eyed people out there, please, what number do I talk about quite a bit in videos? And I've talked about it in this video, the 11, the 11, the doorway, the path. So when you're using those magic spells, the voice of God, the eye is shut, the door is shut, as you can see, and the number that fits lovely into it is, yes, you got it, another 11. When are we going to say it's a coincidence? Gotta keep tongue twisting me now. The coincidence. Crazy, isn't it? I mean, just type it into gematria and you get 1001, but you take away the numeric value of 0 away, you're left with that number again. Just crazy, but I've got it all wrong. Now this, I will admit, is a stretch, a really big stretch, but you know, our brains are hardwired to see patterns, and some will call it pareidolia, and this could be it. But have a look at the vocal cords and the larynx, everything in together. Can you please tell me what it looks like to you? And then I'll put an image up in a minute at the side that to me is a very striking resemblance, and it blew my mind away. You know, even I said too much, so I'll give you a few seconds. So yeah, as you can see, come on guys, I know you're some brilliant minds out there, better than me. What does it remind you of? Some will say an alien maybe or a demon or something like that, but you know, remember Aleister Crowley, he is alien or dash demon. Have a look at him side by side, and please tell me you can see a little resemblance. Maybe, I think it's just me on this one, but a little bit of fun in the video. It's like, whoa, doesn't that remind me of something? And I was racking my brain all day, and it came to me when I was editing this. Hey, it looks like that demon dash alien, that Aleister Crowley. So what say you? So another thing to blow your mind, it blew mine, so is it because it's so simple? You gotta laugh. But you know, when we're filling in forms and different things in life in general, the first thing is about you, and it's always your title, isn't it, guys? I mean, it's one of the first things you have to put on any documentation. We know they love to label things because it's what attaches us to this realm. And think about the word title. Now, here's a little bonus spell etymology. Let's break it up. Title becomes tittle. You're splitting it up into two. Turn it around, EL on the end, as you can see, and tit. Yes, I might be one at times, but in this sense, have a look at a definition that I found when I'm just perusing and doing my little digging as I'm doing. It blowed my mind. Here we go. You can see at the top, tit, mud, mire, clay. Male masculine transliteration, tit. Phonetic spelling, teat. Definition, mud, mire, clay. Word origin of uncertain derivation. Definition, mud, mire, clay. Right, so again, what did they say we were made out of? Clay and dust. So when they are going to us, what is your title? You are mud, mire, clay, from or of the elves. Again, more of this connection. Yes, this one is another stretch, but hey, this is what you expect when you come on my channel. All these stretches that you go, whoa, yeah, it does make sense now. Again, just an opinion. What say you again, guys? Because I love your opinions, because you know, this is what I learn from you guys. Right, guys, you know, I go on a tangent and I get excited, and I'm putting a lot of information in this video, but you know what, I get excited. I want to share, I want to put all new theories, old theories together to paint a picture. So when we're talking about good and evil, and a lot of people believe on different things because no one's right or wrong because we don't know, but I'm just theorizing a good and evil actual forces. They're a frequency that influence this body. I mean, I've even talked about what demons, why they want to possess this body. Well, in all videos I talk about how this body contains the keys to hell and heaven, L11, and I'm going to show you a clip of that after another clip, because when we're talking about this body, again, why good and evil fighting over it, it's just funny that this body contains 11 body systems, and you can see it on the screen: nervous, integumentary, respiratory, digestive, skeletal, muscular, circulatory, endocrine. So there's 11 body systems, and the L's, the elements basically in the body, there is a lot, but the ones that are just key for life, so life, you need 11. Wow. Awful lot of 11s. I'm not even including the pineal gland and all that, adding to 11 and gematria, so on. It's a doorway, it's a gateway in between the two temples, in between the two 11 worry lines or age lines on your face. Ignore all that. That's just a coincidence. So there's 11. Even oxygen is 65% of us. Wow, oxygen. Crazy. I mean, even back in ancient times, there was a thing that they called the oxygen. It was called the Janus gas, and it affected human placental development and function on how we was developed as a vessel, a species. Whoa, Janus gas. Coincidence. But even the brain, groundbreaking research finds that the human brain creates multi-dimensional neural structures. The brain continues to surprise us with magnificent complexity. Groundbreaking research that combines neuroscience with math tells us that our brain creates neural structures with up to 11 dimensions when it processes information. By dimensions, they mean abstract mathematical spaces, not other physical realms. But it gets you thinking, doesn't it? Considering we are the key. Still, the researchers found a world that we have never imagined. So, 11 neural structures, 11 dimensions. Are they trying to tell you something about this 11? So, on this body and vessel that good and evil are fighting over, and it's just a theory. We're always taught that evil, Satan, the adversary, it goes by many names, is a dragon, is a serpent, and so on. And look at this, what this is, the war scroll, the hit galot. I mean, I know galot means like exile. I don't know what the hit on the beginning means, but anyway, 1217 is. Oh wait, that's another 11. One had 2, had 1, had 7. These 11s, they're just coincidences. So when we read this out, it goes, and the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnants of her seed, which keeps the commandments of God, and have the testimony of Yeshua the Messiah. So it's talking about the seed, the dragon, the serpent, demons, evil, and how he went to war with the remnants of her seed. So could that be talking about how we are born, the sperm? Is it talking about these vessels made of clay? There's a lot of things. I mean, there's other verses. And the great dragon was cast out, the old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out and into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And that's from Revelation. So he's talking about how they were cast out and into the earth. Could that be what I'm talking about in my theory on being in a cave, a chamber, a room, the heavens and hell above and below the waters, the nets, and they were cast out into the void, into the heaven. I mean, people talk about Tartarus and things like this, and the Titans. So a long time ago, and it's one of my watch videos, I think it's 100,000 views. It's called The Giants, the Men of Renown, and in that I basically break down the word serpent, and it basically, you can watch it now. So I apologise if it's a long clip, but I need to put it into context because people probably have not watched it. So it's talking about our skeletal system, and it's an old theory, and I didn't know what I don't know what I'm talking about now half the time, but you will see. So I don't want to say any more. So when you watch that, I'll then come back to you, because I want to then show another clip talking about how these bodies contain the keys to heaven and hell. So here goes, guys. Here's the clip. Well, a few years ago, I did a Latin converter. It's very hard to find this translation now, but Titan meant Stantibus Celsior, which meant those that imprisoned. Well, as we know and what we've brought up, more and more people now are researching and looking at giants differently. Not just the fact of giant doors and things like that, which I will clip a little bit later on. But when we talk about titans and how they've been imprisoned, people are now looking into giants as mountains, and we also have mountains as buildings. I treat everything as information, and I look at films like Lord of the Rings portraying mountains as titans, as huge creatures battling. Well, I have a theory that I've just had an epiphany, and I want to share it with you now. So when I saw this of the gods landed in Tartarus, saw the black cube, I automatically thought of Mecca and the people walking around it. So it gave me an epiphany. It's just a theory, nothing more. But to me it resembles sperm circulating the egg. Now we have people talking about the conflict of ages between the woman's seed and the serpent seed. What if, and this is just a big what if we humans as vessels are Tartaros? We are here to keep the titans, the seed, the serpent imprisoned. Basically a growing prison around it. And the cabal, the evil that be, are trying to harness and basically help the serpent escape. Now, if you might think that sounds crazy, it does actually, but just hear with me, because serpent, I'll do a spell etymology on serpent, and it's wow. So serpent, obviously a snake, but let's just split it down in half. serpent. Ser means to sit, to reside, and some to be. So basically to sit, to reside. Proto-Indo-European of that, meaning to protect. Wow, so it means to sit and protect something residing inside. Wow, what does pent mean? Well, pent means kept in a confined or to enclose. Also means 5 as well. So you telling me serpent can be broken down to mean to keep something confined, enclosed, and protect it inside? That to me is just wow. Just wow. So think of humans as Tartaros, and maybe if you can harness this energy, you then become a Tartarian. Or is it something completely different? Am I just talking bollards, as I say, which I could and always sometimes do, but I'm just theorising, I'm throwing an idea out, because obviously when sperm fertilises the egg and the embryos grow, it does start off looking like a snake, a reptilian type of thing. It does, doesn't it? There's no way around it. Now what if I'm talking right, or I'm theorising something here that it just something about it, it's just not letting it go, if that makes sense. It's like we were created as a prison to harness, to enclose, basically to keep the serpent inside in check, because we are powerful. Who knows? Is it just NPCs? Is it a different race? Who this is doesn't necessarily mean it's all of us. Now when I did a video on Dendera, there was giants in there as well, and there was serpents, sperm being grown in incubators. Was this a time before that? I just don't know, because obviously from that quote there were giants in here, before and after, and obviously it said they came into women. So it just makes you think, doesn't it? That's all I ever ask in my videos, to help you think. Now I want to show you that Dendera video, not in full, but just a little bit to show you that there is serpent snakes being grown in incubators. See what you think. Before we talk about Dendera, and I'll show you that clip in a sec, We are vessels. A vessel can be a hollowed utensil such as a cup, a vase or a vase used as a container, especially for liquids, or like a shipping container. But it can carry many things. So it's intriguing when I'm talking about, are we a vessel for titans? Who knows? Like I said, it's just a theory. And we know they like to move around the A's and the E's, they're interchangeable. If you're aware, a state that is basically obliged, it's a mutual obligation to a superior state or empire, is known as a vassal. Very similar to vessel. And sometimes I believe they treat us like vassal states because we are sovereign, yet they think we're obliged to them. So it's just something to ponder on. So after seeing that, you can see why I'm including these old videos, showing you just the importance and why the evil, the good, the constant battle, why they're fighting over this body, this vessel, through etymology, through all the stuff that's hidden. And yes, some of them could be metaphors and some of them could be, symbolism that we are seeing, like pareidolia of sorts. And I just get blown away when our brain puts these patterns together for us and we're like, whoa, is this really happening? Am I really seeing this? So the next clip is, well, it might be a little bit more than a clip, but it's from the video where I talk about the clavicle and how could it be the key to heaven and hell. What are the keys of the kingdom that Jesus gave Peter, or Peter, which is Father? I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. This suggests that Peter and all the apostles would have authority to judge, bind or loose, and power to open the kingdom of heavens, basically symbolically with the keys. Or was it something else? So that verse got me intrigued. Why do we need to be bound? Why do you need a key to loose? You're either bound or not. So we're in it two different keys. So they say the gold represents the heavenly power, while the silver key represents earthly power or worldly power. I think differently, no shocker there. I believe one key is for heaven and the other key is for hell. That's just my own personal opinion. There's a teaching that claims Jesus went to hell after he died to take back the keys of death and hell from Satan. It's intriguing, isn't it? It's reasoned that when Adam sinned, Satan was given domain or dominion over Adam and all the earth because of that sin. Thereby Satan had the keys, the power of death and authority in hell. He had the keys to the door or the gate. Keys represent power and authority. So I just personally believe this is what it is. So I believe one of those keys is for sin and hell, the other is for good and heaven. The duality. I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold I am alive for evermore. Amen. And have the keys of hell and of death. Revelation 1:18. So it's telling you Jesus had the keys of hell, and that is what he gave to Peter. Just my interpretation. Here's a fresco by the Italian painter Pietro Perugino, and it was produced in 1481 to 1482. Now look at the keys. You never pass anyone keys like that. So he's actually showing you something. And I believe the artist had the same thought as me. One key pointing to the heavens and the other to hell. Just look, you don't pass anyone keys like that. It's so awkward. You're passing two together. So he's symbolically showing you that one key is for heaven and one key is for hell. Remember, heaven and hell, the realm of El-Evan. Just gets you thinking, doesn't it? So here's the papal keys, or the Holy See keys, or the crest. Just look at them, gold and silver, representing the heavenly and the earthly or the worldly. And look, they are bound with a red cord. Could that be symbolic? Why are they binding them? Who are they binding them to? That is a question you've got to ask. So gold and silver stuck in my head. And I thought, you know what? The gold and silver in the periodic table, you can see the image above. What would that both be in gematria? And I was shocked. AUAG 209 equals 11. This 11 that keeps popping up everywhere. And that is what made me investigate the realm of El-Evan. But just look at the two keys together. What does it look like? What number do these two keys look like? And if you're honest, you will say 2 1s. Which is funny because that is the keys to El-Evan. This realm is El-Evan. Remember, I've not long just done a video on hell and heaven. In gematria, that's spelled 11. So this 11 is showing you it's here. It's the doorway. Now look at 2 1s together, or 11, doorway, the post. Let's just mix them. And what happens when you put them together in a certain order? Oh wow, it looks like a certain flag. It looks like also a cross, a crucifix. It's always been there, guys, and it's always been in our face. As you know, this flag has intrigued me for ages because obviously it's the crest of Genoa, where Janus is so intertwined. Really is crazy. You have Agnus Dei, obviously the Lamp of God, an emblem of Christ. You have the Bank of St. George in Genoa, the first private state bank. You have the City of London, and you have the images of Jesus going to hell, carrying that flag. And that flag is the corporation flag. It is the realm of El-Evan's flag. It is the 11 crossed into a red cross, as I've just shown you. So it just blows my mind. And again, I have to state for people out there who might be getting a bit snowflakey, it's just my opinion. So to stay in this realm, everything has to be bound. It has to be given a label or a key, a frequency key. Why do you think they worship the god of doors? Lift up your heads, O you gates, be lifted up, you ancient doors, that the King of Glory may come in. We have the keys to our doors and gates. They've just been bound. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. So that just got me thinking again about the binding, the Vatican, and how it's read. And I was talking about it being the vessel and the blood of us, isn't it, being bound like a spell. What if I told you that you have the keys to hell and heaven, the El-Evan, and that you got them at birth and they were hidden in plain sight? Surely that would make you raise your eyebrow. What would you think about that? Some might think I'm nuts, which is plausible. Others will be, where are they hidden? Come on, tell us, we're intrigued now. Here's a clue. Latin for key is clavis. It's borrowed from Latin clavicula, meaning small key. What does clavis and clavicula sound like to you? That's the clue. And most of you will be screaming and writing it down in the chat. Yep, you'd be right. The answer is clavicle. You got it. Clavicle means key in Latin, and that is the keys that you had from birth. Now look at the clavicle. Does it not look like and remind you of horns? Like I was talking about the ram earlier. That's how it all connects. Now I know you guys are on it and good researchers. It does, doesn't it? It just reminds you of horns. Is that where they got the horned god from? Hell and angel wings from heaven? Because look, if I turn round the skeleton, Does it not look like angel wings on the back and devil horns on the front and the chest? It does to me. That's just what absolutely blew my mind when I started looking at it like this, guys. You know what I mean? I'm waiting for a ride, and I'm just going to carry on with this and see what you guys think. And frequency is everything. This realm is all frequency. So I was knocked back by what I found next, guys. It knocked me for 6. So thinking about the vessel and blood, and I said that was what they used to tie the keys because of the red. What if that is the umbilical cord? What do you think about that? Because it's tying the keys together. And the reason I'm thinking like this is it's going to blow your mind. So this talk of being bound and having the keys to hell and heaven hidden inside us. It's hidden in plain sight. Now, it's hidden in the clavicle, the collarbone. That's the other name for it, the collarbone. Must be a coincidence that the clavicle is one of the first bones to form in the fetus and the last to stop growing when we are born. The clavicle, the key, starts to ossify, which means it's starting to turn, to bone. And here's the wow. It's 5 to 6 weeks it does that. So 5 or 6 is an 11. You telling me the keys to hell and heaven, which is 11, are formed at 5 to 6 weeks, which is an 11, is a coincidence? I think not, guys. That just absolutely blow my mind. So the average age when the collarbone stops growing is 21. What do you get when you're 21? You get a key. That's just a coincidence. It's just all a coincidence, Paul. Now another question for you. Right, you ready? What key is the master and opens up all doors? There is a name for it. And I know some of you are screaming in the chat now and writing it in and commenting at home when you're watching it back later. And here we go. So you got it. You got it, guys. It's called the skeleton key. Wait, isn't the key or the keys I'm talking about are in the skeleton? Why, yes. That's just another coincidence. So the key, the clavicle, is also known as the collarbone, right? And its other name, as another name, could be the shoulders, right? So people call it the shoulders, the collarbone, and the clavicle. Have a look at this verse and tell me it's not wow. I will place on his shoulder the key to the house of David. What he opens, no one can shut. And what he shuts, no one can open. Now, you can all depends on what you think is the key to the house of David. But isn't it a coincidence that I'm showing you that the keys to hell, heaven, 11, hell and heaven are on your shoulder because they are the clavicle, they are the keys. And there's a verse talking about I will place on his shoulder the key. Now, I've just blown away, guys. And when you start looking at something, sometimes you see things. Now, is this one of them? I don't know. But it just blew me away, the reference to the key on the shoulder. And talking of shoulder, do you know that age-old battle? I mean, we're talking about battles. That's just a coincidence. Remember the battle between your conscience and good and the battle between evil, the devil, the temptation. What is he saying? Oh yeah, angel and the devil are on your shoulder. Where coincidentally the key is. Again, it's in the vessel. It's like this battle for us because we contain the keys amongst many other things. It's just mind-blowing when you put all this together, and hopefully I've not gone off on a tangent too much, but I just wanted to paint the picture. Why are we at this battle? Why are we at this struggle?
Seus Lucifer matutinus inveniat, ille inquam Lucifer qui nescit occasum Christus filius tuus, qui regressus ab inferis, humano generis serenus iluxit, et tecum vivit et regnat in saecula saeculorum.
So after seeing that mass where they're worshipping Lucifer, you can't help but think, hey, some contradictions are going on here. Some two-faced nature. The two-faced nature of someone is basically they've been teaching everyone for millennia that Lucifer is evil. Well, why are you worshipping in a mass for two saints? Again, two saints, two-faced, the two sides of the coin. So it just got me to thinking of old videos and different things like I have been going over in this video. What about Satan or the adversary or the devil, whatever what you want to call him, Lucifer and Jesus? There's a few things that they seem to match quite a lot. Janus adds 2, 65 into matchup, which is 6 add 5 is 11. Lucifer 7 and 4 is 11. Jesus is 74, 7 and 4 is 11. Strange how they all seem to point to the L's, the L Evans. I mean, some academics talk about Janus being Lucifer. So it just racks your brain, it gets you thinking, and that's just what I love doing. Again, this is not meant to be right or wrong, this is just my perspective and perception on old videos and how it changes. I'm putting it all together to see, is evil, is good, is it a force, are they both forces, like Jedi type of thing? It just gets you thinking, and that's all I ever love. I mean, when it talks about Christ being the devil's son in that, or Lucifer's son, if I got that right, Janus is the devil's son, got 11. Jesus is the devil's son, got 11. How many times do we say it's not a coincidence? And was Jesus a twin? The twin sides of the coin. It just got me going, huh, was it? Is he? Or was he? Because you never know, it's a persona, it's like the mask. So Jesus was a twin, added to 11. Just more coincidences and maybe pareidolia of sorts with numbers. I just don't know. I mean, we talked about the water bearer Aquarius in this, and it always got to me to thinking, well, Aquarius and the water bearer, it's not balanced, is it? Because he's only got one jug. So it got me to think, well, why doesn't he not have 2 jugs? Well, in the tarot cards, there is one with 2 jugs, 2 cups, and 2 water bearing type of symbols. I mean, just look at it, and that's temperance. And it just got me to think, well, if balance requires 2 jugs to get the sides right, why is the age of the Aquarius, or the Aquarius symbol, only got 1 jug, where the actual symbol, physical symbol of water, but it's 2 wavy lines? Is something been altered to distort the balance? I mean, this is how you can look at it. I mean, could you look at this verse from the Bible and think, he's talking about the age of Aquarius there. He said to them, behold, when you have entered into the city, a man carrying a pitcher of water will meet you. Follow him into the house which he enters. House, well, that's what you call your in the zodiac, you know, Aquarius, Taurus, they're all houses. So is this Bible talking about the age of Aquarius now in this verse? I'll leave that up to you. There's a lot more smarter people than me, and like many years ago I did a video on evil and devil knocking at your door, and here's a clip. It is long, but guys, I actually forgot about it, because it's actually not, I didn't put it back on my channel. It was on the old one that got taken down. It's actually still on the Odyssey Black Sheep Researcher, but in that I do go talking about evil and different thing, and how evil is love, and it's like, ooh, that double-sided nature. So it is a good 20-minute clip. I have edited, so if you want to watch that video, it will be, it's still on that channel, Odyssey Black Sheep Researcher. But it's intriguing, and I had to put it in even though it was long, guys, because it's all painting the picture. I just want to, you get this video and go, yes, I can see where he's coming from. I might not agree, but I can see where he's coming from, showing us that yes, evil is a force, good is a force, and there's so much that I'll get into on my thoughts also. But what is evil? They tell us to see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, but the problem is the evil is within us. What defines evil? Who decides what's evil? So, you think that money is the root of all evil? Have you ever asked, what is the root of all money? So, is evil perspective? Do you see 4? Do you see 3? Who's right, wrong? Is this being saved? Or is it being killed? Perspective and perception actually shape us. The perspective is the way, the angle that you look at things. Perception is your understanding of what you have seen. So your perspective matters. It can shape your perception and your reality. So could evil be your perspective or perception? But is it the same with man as with tree? The more he seeketh to rise into the height and light, the more vigorously do his roots struggle earthward downward, into the dark and deep, into the evil. Is this saying that the more light, more positive, more happy we are, the more open we leave ourselves to evil? Do we have to keep a balance? This is just what this video is about this and about something I found that just wowed me, and I'll be coming up with that a bit later. Is it basically a free-for-all because of this free will? Now, is the rule that governs this factory, therefore whatsoever ye would that men should do unto you, do ye even so unto them? Is it a case of, when people talk about why have they got to show their hand as a universal cosmic law? Is this because of free will? Is it because we have to be influenced either for evil or good? Who knows? But let's try and get to the bottom of it in this video, because what I'm going to show you soon is the reason really why I actually made this video, because I found something researched from my last video that just blew my mind. Never open the door to a lesser evil, for other and greater ones invariably slink in after it. Balthazar Gracian. Right, so what you're seeing on the screen is the word evil, and I'm just going to read out the dictionary and what basically the adjective nouns and whatnot. So it says adjective for evil, profoundly immoral and wicked. Example is evil deeds. Of a force or a spirit, embodying or associated with the forces of evil. The example they give: we were driven out of the house by an evil spirit. Harmful or tending to harm. Example given: stories about the evil effects of television on children make good copy. Of a smell or a sight extremely unpleasant. A bathroom with an incredibly evil smell. So, noun, evil. Profound immorality and wickedness, especially when regarded as a supernatural force. His struggle against the forces of evil is the example given. A manifestation of profound immorality and wickedness, especially in people's actions. Plural, noun, evils. The example given, the evil that took place last Thursday. Something which is harmful or undesirable. Example given, the various social evils of our modern world. True evil is above all things seductive. When the devil knocks at your door, he doesn't have cloven hooves. He is beautiful and offers you your heart's desire in whispered airs, like a siren beckoning you to the ruinous shore. Virtue and vice, evil and good are siblings or next door neighbours, easy to make mistakes, hard to tell them apart. There's the know and there's the unknown, and what separates the two is the door. And that's what I want to be, I want to be the door. Jim Morrison. Here I am, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with that person, and they with me. Revelation 3:20. All heard them sayings throughout our, growing up. And because I'm talking about doors, and I've researched Janus, who is the janitor. He has the frequencies, he has the keys to the doors. Has he got the skeleton key? Are they trying to open our doors to let evil in? Who knows? But let's have a look at the etymology behind the letter D, because obviously doors. Fourth letter of the Roman alphabet, from the Greek delta, from the Phoenician and Hebrew deleth. It also is pronounced delet, and I'll show you an image on the screen now. Pausal form of deleth means door, so called for its shape. The form of the modern letter is a Greek delta, the triangle as you can see, with one angle rounded. As for the sign, 500 in Roman numerals, it is said to be half, and it looks like CIC backwards, which was an early form of M, the sign for 1000. And then it says 3D for three-dimensional is attested from 1952. So if you remember a little bit back, I had an image on a screen, and I'll show you now, and it just says evil. And we're talking about evil at your door, devil at your door. Guys, the letter D means door. So as you can see, there's the image, the picture. Let's put a letter D. What does evil say now when we have a D? We have a door at its, we have evil at the door. What does it equate to? Yep, you can quite see devil. So evil, when at your door, becomes the devil. So guys, I want to finish off here. Yes, at last, I've got my thoughts to do. It's been a long video, and there's a lot I didn't even put in, but I just wanted, like I was saying it throughout the video, I just wanted to put a flavour out there to show, hey, yeah, I can see why there is a battle going on for these vessels, and hopefully I've done that. Hopefully. So I want to finish off talking about the War Scroll, not in depth, just because of what I found, which is going to be, I want to show you now. It's just funny that from starting this video and finding out the War Scroll was talking about a battle at the end between the Sons of Light and the Sons of Darkness. And what intrigued me is when I did the last video on natural, and then literally the day after one of the programs I put on, it was talking about it, and I went, no way, another good coincidence. But it intrigued me how things like that happen to us on a daily basis. So what can I show you to finish off with? Well, it's intriguing, it's wow. I'll leave it up to you to say. So I've talked about the War Scroll. What is that in gematria? 1 2 4 4, and it adds to, you got it, 11. Those coincidences just keep on coming. So what was I talking about? The Sons of Light. Now count Sons of Light. How many letters in the Sons of Light? So let's do it together. S1, O2, N3, S4, O again is 5, F is 6, L7, I, GHT adds to 11. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. I've got my finger on the mouse, so that's why I didn't use the other hand. I'm recording, guys. So it's funny how it adds to 11 sons of light, and it's 11. That just blew me away. So I have to thank Advanced Trance for the next bit, because he found something for me intriguing. I asked him the question because he's on his geometry, he's got them all, and I was just wondering what would sons of darkness be in geometry, and it didn't add to 11. So I went, thank God, that would be too much. But I said to him, can you check on yours? And he did. But he said, listen, I tried, instead of sons of darkness being the plural more than one, he just typed in son of darkness, and again it got 1174 again, as you can see on the screen, and that just blew me away. I'm like, no way. So the both sides add up to the L, like the coin, like I was trying to get to in the video. It's just mind-blowing. And I thought, you know what, because I've said sons of light, it was 11 letters and added to 11, I thought, well, Advanced Trance showed me son of darkness added to 11. If I did son of light, would that add to 11? And I was shocked, but I wasn't shocked. As you can see on the screen, son of light without the plural adds to 38, which is 11. Tell me, guys, you know what I mean? It just blows me away. So this is something good to finish on. Like the War Scroll adds to 11, Sons of Light adds to 11, Son of Light adds to 11, Son of Darkness adds to 11. How many more of these coincidences will people take and say, you know what, Paul, you've been onto something for all this time? Yes, I do also have to put my hand up and say, could it be pareidolia of numbers? There must be a name for that, but I have not checked, because sometimes, like I said, our brain sees patterns, and sometimes these patterns are not there physically. Could it be a spiritual thing? Is it just we're all uniquely powerful and we see different things? Because like I've always said, different pieces to the puzzle, and we can see a lot more. So that is to finish off with, guys, and now I'm going to go to my thoughts, and I'll try and keep that as down a little bit while it's a long video.
Yeah, they call me the black sheep. You know they call me the black sheep.
Hello and welcome. Right, guys, it's been a few weeks since my last video. What can I say? I've been hard at work with this video, and I did get carried away, so I do apologise for its length. You can pause it, you can come back to it, and it'll probably need a few goes for you to come back, because you're like me, you can't remember everything all at once. So like always, I want to say a big thank you for everyone who's liked, shared and subscribed to the videos. Like I always say, please check that you still subscribe, because we're heavily censored on this channel, so it keeps unsubscribing people, and it's very hard to see any comments lately. They're just not letting me basically interact with you guys, but I know you're there, I know you're supporting me, I know you're showering me with your love and support. That means so much to me. And like always, if you want to help a little bit more, you can always buy me a coffee. The QR code is right there, or the link will be in the description. And for anyone that's done that, thank you. You know, there's no words basically, even though the spells, but you know what I mean, there's no words to appreciate the support that people have shown and will show, hopefully. You know what I mean. So let's get on with this. First, I need to address the poll that I did on the channel. So let me just go to the results. I wanted to do it in my thoughts, and if you're not aware, on the community section on the channel 10 days ago or so, I asked a question, and here's the results. And if you want to read the comments, there's some brilliant comments on there, people's opinion. Hopefully this video may have changed that, or showed that a lot in life is perception and perspective. So that's why it differs. You know, we all have our take on everything, and that's why I always tell people, you know what I mean, to just respect people's different perspective and perception. So I asked, do you believe that good and evil are in a constant battle with one another? And the results are as followed. Yes was 69%. No was evil being no 17%, and I'm not sure 14%. So there you had it, the results of the poll. You can go and check. You can just see it quite there on the channel. So thank you for that. And how many people took the time to do that? I know we didn't do it. Shame on you. What a joke. And some people don't even see that. I have people moaning, why are you putting in the notification that it's come up? Because people don't get notifications. So I have to because I'm not on social media. I'm only on YouTube. So I need to let people know when there's something new. So 363 people voted. So, it's not a bad poll. Thank you for that. I'd love to get more people interacting on that, but hey, time is precious. So here we go. So let's start. So this video is about the battle, the constant struggle of life, basically. Is evil darkness? Is good light in a constant battle? And again, it all depends on how you've been brought up, how you research and look into different things, because people will have a different answer. When you put together free will and how life is duality, some people don't believe it's duality. Some people believe in the balance, like at scales at the end, but in life general there is a scale, but good and evil. And when the Baal, no balance, but I did a video on the etymology of balance, balance. If the balance is out, it will affect the other side. And I love the film Constantine. It's a cult classic to many, and in that he talks about how good and evil, like on your shoulder, influence, but they can't intercede in life, but they can just whisper. And that's always taken me back and intrigued me. Is this what's going on, the battle? So after doing the last video that I did on natural, and a few of you watched it, but sometimes people think spell etymology interesting, it's just looking at the spells. But if you didn't watch that, you missed a really good deep video. And sometimes I don't put that across as too much in the description, but that's just me. But in that, basically, I'll paraphrase that. Basically, natural meant the light, or you stemmed from the light of the divine El. The next day I am watching just a series, and it's on different mysteries and different things. And soon as the first thing I put on, it's talking about the Dead Sea Scrolls, and I've mentioned Dead Sea Scrolls before in older videos about how they were found in 11 caves. I don't know if they found more now in another cave or what, but originally they were found in 11 caves, and that just blew me away. And I'd never heard of the Water Scroll. So basically the Water Scroll is talking like a revelation that in the end times that the sons of light will have a battle with the sons of darkness. Now that might have been talking about a culture, a civilization, or it could have been talking about, you can go through it and you can read it. It is in depth, and I didn't want to do a video just reading that, because that wouldn't be me. You expect something different when you come onto my channel, and this is what you've got. So that I use that as inspiration. Calm now, Paul, you're wobbling the monitor. So that inspired me. Is there a battle between light and day? Oh, light and dark. And again, this will just come down to you, how you perceive your perception on life, on everything. Because some will say, yes, it is a battle. Some have been influenced by the evil in the world and say yes. Some will say, no, it's this, and this, and this. Again, it's how you perceive and look at this world. I mean, for instance, look at the eyes. In Latin, from my old videos, the iris and different parts of the eye was basically known in Latin as malum, which means bad. So when people were talking the apple of the eye, and that was being bad, and that's associated with the apple from Eden. So you can see how intriguing this type of thing is. When you look at things, your brain will see patterns, how you see patterns, and the topics that you've researched, you will see this. So when I'm looking at good and evil, I've done a lot of videos over the years looking at similar things, and that's just shaped me how I've influenced by this video. It's just mind-blowing if you think about the natural versus the supernatural, on how with these eyes, remember they even have scry mirrors, the black parts, the iris have scry mirrors, so certain people can see the other side. We are mediums, the vessels are mediums. Why is the body designed in a way that you can see aspects of good and bad? Because it's the balance. It's the jugs of water, the water bearers. You know, we are full of water. And water can be influenced. Anything can be influenced that is susceptible to energy. Remember, is it thermal dynamics? It says energy can't die. So if it can't die, are people, where does this energy go? And this has always intrigued me. If energy can't die and it transforms and goes into something else, is this what people are seeing from the other side? Like dimensions and different things. It's funny that the brain, not them types of dimensions, but breaks down neural pathways and things into 11s. And when people talk about the pineal and how is that the door that can't be shut according to the Bible, and we are doors, we are gateways. And it's in between those 11s right there. And the occult name for the pineal is Janus, god of doors. And like any door, unless you really, really, really fancy it, but you know what I mean, you can talk about doors and different things how, but doors can go both ways. So if you're influenced by good and the door is going that one way, you can only be influenced, but it's evil darkness pushing back to try and get in the other way. And it's always intrigued me that when we talk about goodness and good, how evil does not like it. I mean, I remember making a video like talking about happiness and humour, how demons do not like you being happy. Society doesn't seem to like you being happy. Is it when this is always intrigued me as well. So think about this, guys, and you probably have already. When you are happy, it's instantly something bad tries to get at you, to bring you down. Are we supposed to be living in a flux? Are we supposed to always be living in balance? If we are always happy and sad and darkness is down there, it is trying to get it there. I don't know. I mean, people talk about how gods are using us for experience. That is why evil is there. Who knows? There's no right and there's no wrong. It's just how you perceive and your perception on everything that influences how you see. You got scrying mirrors, people, these eyes, the volume adds to. A lot of that appears, and people say, "101 is 101. It's not 11." It's how you perceive. It's a doorway. And I've been researching this topic for a long, long time, it feels. And I've had a lot of breakthroughs for me because it's a personal journey. People, the trolls, remember the control, they're like, how are you possibly you should be getting me out of here. It's not my responsibility, it's you. You get yourself out of here. Not me. I help myself, but by helping myself, sometimes I can help other people who see the experiences in me. And if I say, well, this is how I did it, sometimes that may work, not always. And what happens in this reality, people is using their experiences and demanding people do it that way. It doesn't work that way. Yes, it will work sometimes, but not always. You know, we're here to show our experiences online, and some people, it resonates. It's on that frequency. Like something I've always talked about is good and evil frequencies. And like a weather map, when you see, you know, the like on the weathers now, you've got the air pollution, you've got how the sun, you know, is coming in, and it's the pressure, the low pressure, high pressure. Is this reality based on similar like that with frequencies that can affect these vessels? I've talked about the ley lines, the lie lines being devil traps. Were they to trap evil? And how does it get to you? You know, so there's a lot of things that I didn't put in the video that you can put in that influence, but then you'd have a 4-hour video. And the main topic of this video was just showing you, oh wow, the coincidence of that happening the day after doing that video, and asking that, well, is there a battle for good and evil for these vessels? I mean, you saw the etymology for ves and els. It just really blows my mind when you just look at things in a different perspective. And that is what we try and do. We try and show you a different perspective, and some people take to it and then morph it. Some people don't. And like I say to everyone, go and check these things for yourself, because then you never know what you'll find. The cool finds. Some things like in this reality are an anomaly. Like I've used Light Converter one day and it said it'll mean this, another day it disappears. But I always, when I do something and it comes up something intriguing, I screenshot it. Like the thing for when I did the video on the giant men of renown. Yes, the giant men of renown is because your stature in society is big. You're important, so you're a giant. Or are they talking about giants physically? I've told you, and this again was a person who watched the channel talking about the word giant. Gian, Gian, is a derivative of, you got it, Janus. I've included that in many videos, and that was someone who's watching the channel. T, like the tau cross, but also means it's used in past tense. So giant means something of, you know, Janus are giants, but they're not here anymore from that spell. So when I looked at the giants of renown and looked into it and did the spell etymology on the word serpent, and you know, that was basically talking about something being trapped and kept inside, and me asking that question, was this talking about the Titans being trapped, the elves, the old spirits, the old force, the prime evil. Prime from is it primus, meaning first? So whatever, who was here first, like the leviathans and whatnot, and there's all things that were here maybe before man, that lived in the void, lived in the darkness. I mean, who says darkness is bad? Who says light is good? I mean, people say, yeah, light is good, but not light from a fire can burn and hurt and kill. It's not good then, is it? Like I was saying in bits from the old video, who defines what is good and what is bad? One person's good is another person's evil. It's the mindset. Is society the one who picks? Is it because we have such wide-ranging beliefs and thoughts on a topic? So, you know, like that phone, and people will have a different perspective on it. So is this why we have society? Because you can't be trusted on your own of sorts, because if one person is love and the other person is evil, the mirror reflection, who says what's right and wrong? Is that why society then make the rules? Because then it finds its balance. But society is influenced by bad, and that reflects in laws, the walls. So when I found that about keeping something inside, I thought, is that why they make the skeleton? To keep the soul, to keep whatever is kept inside. Is that the divine essence, the soul, the spirit? Who knows? And is that why they try and influence these vessels? Because they're holding something divine, they're holding something powerful. It makes sense to me. If something was holding such powerful and they had access to it, and you wanted to influence them so you could control it, mind programs and things like this, it blows you away. So is that why we have a balance, or should we not have a balance? Should we just ride it out? Good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. Are we not allowed to have the middle, or should we have the middle? It seems funny that most of these words associated with good and evil, isn't it? Like the Middle Ages, and I missed a lot of etymology out because I cut it out because I didn't want it to be too long. But medi being middle, and the word mid-L, it's got the EL on the end. Hallelujah. I just love looking at different words. So is that why we get influenced? Evil, E-V-O-L, evil is love backwards, but it's evil. And I like changing it to evil, E-V-E-L, evil, because it's obviously associated with the L, and we're talking about the prime. So is this the prime being the first type of energy, and that is sick of being bound and wants to escape, to feel back in this reality? Because it always got to me, like, why does demons and evil want to possess you? Because you're holding divine essence. You have the keys. You have the frequency for the doors for this realm and many, many more. And obviously the gates to hell and heaven. Heaven. Blows me. And you just look at the word. So you can have evil. And evil spelled E-V-O-L, so that could be short for electric volt. Interesting, because when I did the spell etymology for electric, I showed that it was a circle. You can watch them videos. It's in the realm of 11, and it's appeared in a few videos, and it basically talks about this realm being a circle with two poles. You know what I mean? And it says it's the jurisdiction of L. So electric means a jurisdiction of L. And could that stem, because I've done stuff on Valhalla, the electric lords and different things, so I've done a lot of that I could have put in, but then you'd have had a 10-hour video. But evil could be electric volts, but you split it up. EV means also, and this is in different cultures and meanings, but it's still intriguing to look at these words. So EV, I found words, it means time, it means dwelling. Dwelling, time. And we're talking about where we live being the jurisdiction of L. We're talking about the age of Aquarius a lot. And we're talking about how this realm, when I did the etymology of celestial, meant dwelling, meant chamber, room. So that's why I was thinking, do we live in a giant cave, a room, a reality like that? And you can say, well, and this blew me away also, I wrote it down somewhere. Where did I write it down, Paul? And OL, basically the etymology from OL comes from alcohol. And we know that contains spirits. And the OL comes from Latin oleum, and that basically comes from alcohol. So You could say that the OL can be changed to AL, which can become EL. So evil, love, can actually turn then into evil, I mean EVEL, like a levy. I just get excited, guys. You know what I mean? That shows you my reality that I live in. I get excited about all these words. So you can look at time, EV. I mean, just look at good. That you can find places for good that means unite, and suit, and gut. And also good and light stem from obviously lux and lumen. So when we do my breakdowns of words, I call it spell etymology, because we live in a realm where we use magic, we use spell casting, we use grimoires, grammar. Why? Because a long time ago I showed in videos that we have the vocal cords split in half. Vocal, VOCAL, AL becomes EL, voc, EL, vocal, voice of the divine, the L's. So too bloody right you were trying to influence these. That's why they do this to people online or around the world, because they don't want you using the power of God or a God. If you've watched Preacher, the Preacher is, I don't know what it is in around the world. On here, I think it was Amazon. I think it was at the time, and it was his name Jesse, and he got possessed by Genesis, and that basically gave him the power to influence everyone. So this has always intrigued me. Now the vocal cords mean the voice of God. Looking into this subject, I found that they had twinning foldings of 3. They had the 3 of this and the 9. Could this be what Tesla was talking about? Now people will then go, oh, Tesla didn't exist. It doesn't matter. The message, the information has been put out as saying, if you knew the power of the 369, you basically rule the place. So it makes sense, doesn't it? If that is so powerful, why they try to stop people from talking, and then they want to control them, hence being gatekeepers. Mind-blowing. And how all the triangles from for it being divine and everything can fit in the vocal cords. That just and even the larynx and all the accessories look like the Squatterman, a phenomenon that people put down to a plasma reset. But what happens if a god, or whoever people in their religion believe is the god, did he speak, and in the heavens it created that pattern? You basically saw the voice of God in the heavens. Like I said, I just put the puzzles together. I mean, puzzles, you look at the word puzzle, it means to, I mean, some etymology, it means to perplex, to interrogate. And the old spelling of puzzle was not Z. So you could actually put P-U-Z-E-L, but the original puzzle was P-U-S-L-E, puzzle. And that means so many things. It's like, whoa, in different cultures. It means foot, it means matter from a sore, it means malice, it means bitterness, it means foul, it means rotten. So you can just see how that the puzzle of L is rotten. Like an apple being eaten from the tree of knowledge. Knowledge is information. Knowledge is data. Knowledge is da'at. Anagram of data is da'at. And you saw the meme. I even put it in old videos that people talk about how we're just data going around the circuit board. And what I didn't include in this video was from my old circuit board video showing you that arches can, like if you put it down to computers, are like and not gates or gates, and whatever is put into them can influence things that walk through it. You have the phenomenon that talks about the doorway effect, how that affects your memory. So that's why I researched this and look, hey, if we're living in a realm it's good and evil, and it's just trying to influence us daily, so we get that balance, but they can hack it and have more bad than good, and we're out of sync, is these arches. You look around this world and this reality, that when things are destroyed, buildings and things, you always find an arch. Yes, it's powerful with the obviously how it's designed, but could it be more than that? Could it be a reason why? Because like doorways, if you walk through a doorway, an archway, if you forget, it breaks your connection. It's intriguing, isn't it, if you put it that way? And when I was looking into it, I found that when a doorway or a window is bricked up, it's discharged. So it's like, has these things been discharged from service? They've been bricked up. They're no longer in use. They no longer want that energy influenced by that. It's like when I was talking about stories, the naming of stories and how it reflects life, because stories, like a storybook, is why the buildings are called stories, because in the old ancient times and medieval times and whatnot, when they had, sometimes you used to have fake windows and some had real windows if you had more money. So, but how you look out of the window can affect your life. You can see life going about, hence stories. You can see things happening, you got a story to tell. Higher you go, you can see a different part of the story, and so on and so on. So that's why stories were named that way. And I just found it intriguing, because like that, it can influence our life. It's why the media influence our life, because they want to get an agenda across, because it can affect this vessel. And these vessels have the key to hell and heaven, 11, through the collarbone, the clavicle, the key. And so we have the voice of God. We have that door that can never be shut, which they try and do with the calcification. We have the keys to hell and heaven, and we also have the sacrum, the sacred bone. I didn't put that in from the old video because I didn't want to just like you guys like you put too much information in this. But the sacrum, like the key area, the shoulders, which had the wings on the back and the horns on the front, again the good and the evil. Down there has the same. I've shown you videos that if you highlight and make it in red, it looks like a devil. Then you have the ilium, the wings, and the pelvis area. It's like these places have the good and the evil. So these things can influence life. We can influence people, because certain people are easily persuadable. We all have moments when we believe in something so much that common sense goes out the window. And it's like, why do we have fear? It's like to keep you safe, and you're obviously for flight or fight reflex. But it always seems to be that balance, that duality, the two L's, the two sides of the coin, two-face, which is Janus Bifron's stage. Why I researched that topic, because he has the keys. He has the frequency keys. The janitor always has the keys. The main power of a building, it could be the manager, but what about the guy who can go through any door, see everything, but is invisible? Why is Janus talked about as being Lucifer, but also good God, protection? Why is society saying Lucifer is bad, yet they're worshipping him in church? Tell me. Because things are not what it is, and people talk about his story, it's all a lie. His Tor, T-O-R, his door, his door. Why don't we research Janus more, Paul? Because people out there don't want you to. And that's why I do what I do, because yes, sometimes you might get fed up, always talking about this too much, but I do talk about a lot of other things, but they highlight on that. Why would you stop the person with a skeleton key that can open up all doors? Why would you? You know, hence in this reality, the go-to guy who influences everything is named Gates. He's actually named Janus. Janus's month is January, and what they try and do is the New Year's resolution. They try and get the main things out. It's like a vow. L. It's like a vowel. It's the vow to L's because they want to get this in. That's why a lot of stuff comes out. I mean, I have to thank Barry for this, and this could be talking about when we're talking about doors and things like this. And I didn't know this because obviously you can't look at everything. But this year, if you look at different things in the Hebrew calendar and things, it's the year of the door. And not only, I think, is it the year of the door, it's the year of the open door. Now, if you watch me for a long time, you will know that obviously Janus used to have the gates in Rome, and when they were at war they were open, and when they were at peace they were closed. So we're talking about the year of the open door, right, in Hebrew, I think it is. And I might do a video on it. And it just seems funny that we're talking about the influence of evil and different things. If this is the year of the open door, Janus' door was only open at war. So is it saying, is that why they had doing their things to that certain state at the side? Because obviously you're going to watch what you say on this channel. But you can see my point is that why the attack has happened? Because it's a year of the open door, meaning war. Like the open door, the left. It's like delete. It's just intriguing, and thanks to Barry for that, for reaching out and saying, did you know that? I didn't. So this is a year of the open door, and the door is only open for war. And you know, the first time that was opened, I did too. Yeah, you got it. 11. So all these things mean something to someone. And yes, I'm going on and I'm slightly changing the subject, but I'm trying to paint a picture why these vessels influence. Is there a battle? Now, is there an actual force of evil and good? Is it like a primal? You know, when they say it's primal, meaning the first. You know, I love the program Supernatural, and you have like an alpha, Aleph. Janus is tied to the Aleph, and the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, from the two faces. But in that they have an Alpha, which is the first of the species. So are the primal forces the first of the species? How do we get affected? With influence, it's like the porous skin. It's like things affect. It's like cymatics. The sound, the energy, the frequency affects the medium that it hits. And if the medium is different or whatever, so that sound will affect different things it hits differently. And that's just how we are. We get affected differently. Some people have a natural resilience. About the torus field, I've done a video on breaking the toroidal down. The oid means essence, spirit. Toroidal, A-L-E-L. The door, the energy, the spirit of the gods. So this frequency, it's around us, that protects us and amplifies what we experience. It's why to try and make you sick by viruses. People say, oh, the dead. Look at the word again. Via. Virus is man. V-I-I is man, if I remember. So virus, V-I-A, via us. Everything is passed on by us because we have the essence of God, the keys to the heaven. We can influence like magic wands. We can easily influence. And I've talked about on the things are like, how have I put it in the past? That things piggyback. They use things to piggyback. And like a virus, like a Trojan horse. And it's like the food. Food's not what it used to be. So things are being made and put in and piggybacked. And that's in you. You can fight it well. But sometimes you pass it on. And you need, if when you need like a buoy, like a buoy in like a distress signal. So could these things be sending out a distress signal that activates? That's why when we're in close quarters, we pass things on. Energy does not die. That's why I've talked about ghosts and different things living in the spaces in between. So it's really mind-blowing when we just look at something a little bit different. Again, I'm not tied down to air theory. I get influenced by what I find around us and think and try and think objective. And then I see the puzzles of it. I then put it together. I see patterns. I mean, just look at it when we are filling any forms in. Fill your form in. First thing you come to, title. Break it down. Tit. Tittle. Tit-L. Tit means mud, clay, mire. Well, they talk about how we came from the ground. In the ground. Clay, dust. Minerals. Mortal. More, death. Death the L's. Death the prime evil, the prime force. But energy doesn't die, so it goes somewhere. Is this what's getting passed through layer lines? Frequencies? Is this why they're influencing all of what is the vital vortices, the energy locations around the world? You affect these balances. It's like the ancient times had the Sumerian MEs, M-E, Mandela effect. People research that, but it started in the Sumerian times. It talks of it being a divine and how it can influence music, your name, geography, everything that's happening. Why has that not been looked at? Because I said it. People don't want to. And they talk about how these physical and also spiritual objects were used in the locations to influence people, making more happy, more prosperous if you had more. Is this what we're talking about now? Are we being influenced by things around us? Is that why they're putting the 5G, the gifts of Hera? So all these videos, I'm talking about things but are connected somehow. So you really need to go back, you, and just check out my older stuff. Then this, what I'm waffling on about today, will make more sense. So then when, why? I mean, it's talking about these. So in these vessels are sailing the frequency key, the oceans. They have the Voke of God, they have the keys, they have the doors. Put yourself in a villainous Bond style thing. If we could influence the more people, if we can influence them. What are the people called now on YouTube? Influencers. Because it can influence a lot of people. You control the influences, you control the doors. You control the balance of good and evil in you. Makes sense. Whether it's an actual physical force, who knows? Some will say yay, some will say nay, some will say I'm not sure. But that's the beauty of it. Are these forces primeval? I mean, it talks about, like when I was in the video, talking about Zeus splitting people down the middle. Because we were too powerful. Now, is that when we was in balance? Is that metaphorically talking about when good and evil were in balance and in harmony? But you look at the word harmony, it's like harm on me. Sound can hurt, but it also can influence and do good things. It can heal. So Zeus, Janus, split people in two, and they're forever trying to find the other half. Some people refer this to as the soulmate, but like I was saying to you in the video, because like I said, I'm just thinking out loud and I'm spitting the fat as they say, and I'm just trying to think of things on the fly. I'm like, well, if it's not just your soulmate, could the soulmate not be the primal forces? Broken, the influence reality differently, affect people differently, but together they're in harmony, and you're more balanced. But separately, the tug of war, the battle. And I did a video a long time ago about showing that symbol, fist pumping and different things, how that's traced back to circuit boards. So it's intriguing, isn't it? And if you then look at it, oh yeah, that is a thought. So the struggle is because we are not in harmony. You know, you have your ups, and when you're up and happy and everything is brilliant, you want to stay there. But there's a force that comes and takes you down again. Are we, you know, it's like they're saying, you can't experience the highs if you don't experience the lows. You need both. And that's why it just blew me away when you look at it. And then there's duality, the quality. The duality is the quality of the two. And if the two are fighting and not in harmony, you can just see how it reflects on people in this reality. So we're remnants of like all the godness, the soul, the spirit, the voice of God, the keys to hell and heaven. You know, it's just mind-blowing. And when we're talking about the Vatican using the gold key for the heavenly and the silver key for the earthly, just look at the word silver. It anagrams into sliver. Sliver. A sliver is a piece, but it also how serpents move. And in the Bible, Bible. Oh yes, that does add to 11, by the way. I've showed you in other videos. You know, the bi meaning two. The duality. Yes. So you can just see how even the gold and silver added to 11. The cross. The 11. The cross over the door in the church is called a rood. R-O-O-D is backwards for door. The cross is always over the door or near the door. And it's 11, it's a sign of the corporation. So these things just make me go, the battle. It's always the battle. And I just thank you guys for giving me the platform. You know, I want to try and do more and more when I can. You know, I'm not on any social media, so you know I do need this, what we see, and you know, interact with each other. So this battle, I know when people talk about how the battle is like the good and evil battling it out, battling over what, you know, and that's why I always come back to, it seems that they're always battling over us, the angel and the devil on the shoulder, the influence, the whispers, do this, do that. How are we all naturally good? You know, I would say no, you know, from reality, but we don't know what's been influenced. It's like, again, like I was saying, it's how you brought up. If the first influence in your life, society would say is evil, you only know that until you get taken out and go into, like, you know, segregation type of thing. You only know that one way. And that's why, again, what I was talking about is that the reason why we have laws that the masses, because if just one man, well, we know, you know what I mean, the irony. You know, in theory it's supposed to work, but in reality it doesn't. And they talk about the angel being your conscience, and the temptation being the devil. The devil. D-E-V. And yes, it's not A-E-L, but I put it, devil is evil at the door. As soon as you put the D, the letter in front of evil, it becomes the devil. Just a coincidence. So you think about it, and it talks about, when I was in the video, that the keys to bind. Why are they talking about bind? Whatever you bind in this reality is bound in heaven, or whatever heaven is heaven just in between the spaces. Who knows? You know, we've put the physical gates and doors on both sides. Funny that, they both have doors, and we've put that. And I did a video on hell and heaven, showing you a lot of different cultures and what they believe, finding out that the H represents a door, ticking that off, and you're left with 11, the hell and heaven. 11. and it came to 11. So this is why they want these vessels. But important. People will tell you you're not important. You can't do anything on your own. You can do a lot. And that's why it's why when you're happy, they try and get you down. Because it's different frequencies. When you're happy, you resonate, people feel good around you. And then evil comes. Hey, you're only allowed to be feeling good for so long. And people always talk about it. Well, if we're created by God, why does he let evil things happen? And that's the quandary. That's the philosophical people have been talking forever on. And you're never going to sort that out. Unless you just take yourself away from the argument. Look, not why it's being let. You can put free will and all that in. And people talk about how it's because the primal energy wants to experience the highs and the lows. Because, in my opinion, you want to influence these vessels. These vessels are the captain of the ship. You have your mind, you have your heart, you have your soul. The Trinitarian, you know what I mean? The three. And they're trying to influence each one of them. And that's, why do people do bad things, sickening things? They just have someone at the door. There's somebody at the door. There's somebody at the door. You know what I mean? Did I shut the window? I don't know what it was. I'll soon find out. So you can just see how it's intriguing, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I mean, I could go on forever and ever and ever, but there's no, again, you're going in that cycle. But in this video, I just wanted to show you a lot of things I've put in to answer this question, why they want to influence these bodies. Voice of God. The doorway to hell and heaven. The two. And then you have the sacrum that helps you conceive and create another life. The three. The three, the balance. The good and evil, and then the scales in between. Who knows? I mean, I'm just theorising, and it just blows me away that all these things seem to add, in reference to this video, come to 11. Like the sons of light, 11 letters, adds to 11. Plural, son of light adds to 11. So does the son of darkness. Lucifer, Jesus, Janus, being the son of the devil and things like this. You know what I mean? We as society have said the devil is bad, and then you will have the other half saying no, it's been mistranslated. It means the adversary, and I don't know why, but adversary, just the opponent. But sometimes I think that opponent, a frequency, because everything is a frequency, vibration, and frequency in this reality. Music can heal, frequencies can heal, so they can also influence. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to influence these magic wands. Sounds bad. I don't mean that down below. I mean those in general. Hence why they have spell casting. You know what I mean? So hopefully, guys, you've enjoyed this. And I've gone on for far too long. It's going to be nigh on over 2 hours. But just think, is it a physical force? Is it a primal force? Is it because we can influence others that they try and influence us? Hence influences. Even us, we're influencing now, but we have our own, and then there's an agenda. I'm very objective. I don't put any of my thoughts and say this is a fact or anything, or this is this. I just say, hey, this is just my opinion at the time of making the video. But it can affect people. Because, sometimes we always seem to look up and, hey, we respect that person, what they're coming up with today. But I just want people to watch me and help them to basically think, a stepping stone. You know what? I like what Paul said. I don't believe in that bit, but how I've seen this reality and life it's affected me being you're then the medium, and we always see things differently. People see the dead, people see ghosts, so is it a case of if you can, whatever's going in, helps you to experience the reality, and it changes it around you. Light and darkness. Who says, you know, there's no difference? I mean, is light and darkness? What about shadow? Is that the balance? It's not quite light because it casts a shadow, but it's not also darkness because you can't see a shadow in the dark. I don't think you can. Someone will be able to try and I was just talking, there's loads of things. I mean, why do we have the speed of light? Why don't we have the speed of darkness? You can search engine that and people say it doesn't exist. Other scientists and people will say it's faster than the speed of light. Then people talk about the speed of the shadow. You hold your hand up to a light and it's just your finger. You know, you hold it up tonight or your hand and look at how your shadow is cast. It's huge. It's travelling X amounts of distances from your actual reality. You know, you can cover things with your shadow just from your hand. So there's loads of things to look into. But the main thing of this video was just asking that question and the coincidental nature of me talking about natural being the light of the divine L, and then seeing the War Scroll talking about the battle between good and evil, light and dark. You know, at the so-called end days, light and darkness fight. Is that just talking about people? Is it how we're influenced? Is it when you were born? If you were born in the day, are you the son of light? If you were born at night, are you the son of darkness? Or is it supernatural and natural? Or is it the people who were born from one L and others born from another L? What was cast down according to the Bible? I don't know. I'm intrigued and I just love to hear what you guys say on it. So if you like the video, please like it, obviously. Please share it. And remember, always smile. Try and do one good deed a day. You know, that makes me feel when I say that. Try and do one good deed a day, because someone's good is not necessarily the other person's good deed. So when that person was talking about weeks ago, you shouldn't influence, maybe they were right, because our good is different. You know, so people do have a point on things. Do we have to stay neutral and let that person find out for themselves? Is that person that I helped, was he supposed to, you know, die, that I helped? But then again, you know, were you you know, there's no right and there's no wrong. The glass is half empty, half full all the time. So guys, I just appreciate you. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I do apologise, it is long, it's got so much information, but I had to show you why they're in a battle, and hopefully I've done that. Hopefully I've not waffled on for too long. So please, thank you guys for your love and your support, and if you want to help the channel, please, you know, hit the link and buy me a coffee if you want, or buy me a bar. If not, just like, share and subscribe, that's brilliant too. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye. 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 Go. No, go. There's no extras. Bye.